Hey, hi everyone. Good to see you all. It's one of the meetup that I see so many people. So have a late happy new year. So this is our first meetup in 2025. So if anyone is new today, you can scan the QR code here. Then you can bring that to a Slack channel where you can continue the conversation here and meet with other people in the community. So before we start, we want to acknowledge the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people as the first people and traditional owner and custodian of the land and waterways on which we live. We honor and pay our respect to the elderly past and present. And also our community is dedicated to provide an inclusive environment to everyone. So welcome everyone again today. And secondly, beside the Slack channel, we also have an online presence on LinkedIn and Mastodon. So if you are a user on this platform, you can also join this group and follow our latest news and communications. So a bit about the agenda today. So we will have two speakers. The first one is Henry. He is the commercial specialist from SAP. So he will introduce us on how to apply AI on an e-commerce platform. And second, Louis, he is the founder of 025, and he will talk to us about the future of carbon accounting. And as usual, we will have a short session of marketplace. So if you have a project or your company is hiring for people, you are welcome to share and pitch to us. And then we will wrap everything up at around 7:45, and the door will close at around 8. And before we start, we have to thanks again for our sponsor. First is Judo Bank. Without them to share the display with us, we will may not be able to meet today. And then also AWS and Just Digital people to provide us the pizza, the food, and the drinks and everything. So Michael, do you have anything that you want to share with us?
Yeah, thank you. Welcome everyone to the first meetup of 2025, and wow, what a crowd. This is probably time for our biggest turnout ever. If you haven't heard about Judo Bank before, it's a bank in the SME sector trying to bring back the relationship banking that's been understaffed to SME-sized businesses. Just want to shout out to AWS and Just Digital people, our partners who this could not be possible with. Just a little housekeeping things. If I could have your help keeping this place clean, it'd be amazing. And if you require the bathrooms, they are all the way past the lifts to the right and the second door on your right. Please be aware that they are all gendered, just so you know. Thank you and enjoy the talks tonight. I'm looking forward to the Dulux one because hopefully they can give me a discount on my paint that I need for my house.
Yep, thank you, Michael. And again, so if you haven't joined our channel, please join now. There will be so many more things going on there. And last, before we really start, we also want to share something to, we are recruiting more people to join our community to make it bigger. So I would want to pass to Bernardi to talk to us about the big details.
Thanks, Ian. So yeah, again, welcome to everyone for coming to the meetup today, and thank you for coming. It's great to see, pretty much like as Michael mentioned, it's one of the biggest turnouts I think that we've had so far. So yeah, thank you all for coming, especially since the weather has been really weird. But pretty much just a bit of a short tidbit. What we really are looking for pretty much is just a few roles. So we're looking for more people who are interested in becoming an organizer / an MC. So if you love engaging people, you love kind of like, pretty much being involved in the day-to-day organization of Meetup, as you can see over here, for instance, like what we do in putting this all together. Or if you're interested in pretty much hosting it, like what we're doing right now, and pretty much just making sure that everything is going according to like how we planned it, and pretty much just communicating, engaging with the audience pretty much this way. Then pretty much reach out to me, to Ian, and pretty much anyone of the organizers in our group. And aside from that, we also have a sponsorship liaison as well. So pretty much, if you're interested in kind of like engaging with different sponsors, partners, pretty much like reach out to us as well. And last but not least, as you recall, the mentorship program is something we're still trialing out, and we would love to pretty much get more calls for those who are interested to be mentors to pretty much put their hand up and share your expertise with those others who are pretty much still early careers and the like essentially. So if you're interested in any of those, please reach out to me, please reach out to Ian or any of the organizers, and pretty much like we'll fill you in more. Or pretty much you can also just jump into Slack as well, and you can reach out to us there as well easily too. Thanks all.
And now we pass the stage to Henry to present us the first topics. Welcome, Henry.
Hey guys, how are you? Good. Yeah, my name is Henry. Good to see you here. First of all, thank you for sponsoring today. Just Digital People, Judo Bank, and AWS. Sorry, AWS. I'm going to demo my application on Azure. Sorry for that. Yeah, so today I would like to have a bit topics on the AI applications. Just apply on the any e-commerce systems. So just demo about like how it look like. Make a sample. I mean, just demo for that one. You guys can start from that point and develop yourself the applications. I mean AI. When we're talking about AI, talking about the Python, right? So topic today is so I just would like to introduce background. I mean my background. I'm working at Dula Group at the moment, so it's a specialist. It's quite a big company, right? I'm specialized in e-commerce system. So I'm working at Dula Group. So anyone know about this one, yeah? So that's kind of big companies in Australia, one of the iconic company in Australia. So it's a model company of a lot of sub companies like you can see Dula with the band, Sally with the silicon, the yes with the fertilizer and the seed, with the with the band as well. I can't remember it's an oil band or water band. In the year, a lot of brands in here. We have more than like 40 sub companies under Dula Group. So this is kind of one of the best working environment in Australia, and I really love this company. I've been working here for 4 years, more than 4 years, and longest ever. So anybody in this group, like are students? Oh, a lot. So every year we have a program about like graduate program. So we get we will finish about to finish the uni program and join us. So have a look at the LinkedIn, the job high over there, and the company website as well. Let me go into some website over there. We have very details about the job opening. So we got a lot because this is quite a big company over there. Even I can spend my whole life to to business. I can move from this company to another company, but couldn't finish all the work over there. So a lot opening job at the moment. Like we got software engineer, full stack developer, we got data engineer, we got a lot of thing about AI. About the IT job over there as well. So just have a look at the website dulagroup.com.au and follow the link on the job ad over there as well, and follow LinkedIn so you have a lot insights over there about the job. So talking about graduate program. So this year we got more than 10 members join us from uni around Melbourne. Yeah. Good luck, guys. Yeah. So about myself, so I started working on Java more than 20 years ago. So I start from very first version of Java, early 2000s. So more than 25 years already. I started working on Python when the machine learning started 10 years ago. I fell in love with Python since version 2. I love the syntax. I love how it's very simple compared to Java. Yeah, a big background on the machine learning, Gen AI and deep learning. Yeah. So early 2000 to 2012, I worked for some companies in Singapore, in Australia as well, like Standard Chartered Bank and Zest, Telja. Yeah, a lot of companies there down there as well. So my background was about bank application, and then I moved to e-commerce system when eCommerce came to Australia in 2012. So I've been working for a lot of big companies in Australia, like Target, Officeworks, or Spotlight, or Lion Roku, or SIB. And those companies are B2B companies like Islam or Willcock, or BMW Australia with the marketplace. Yeah, so at the moment, I'm looking after 4 sub-companies in Dulacruz with Liechtenstein Trade, one of the biggest B2B e-commerce system. Dulac, with if you go into dulac.com that year, we can buy bands of it. We can buy some sample stuff over there. With Dulac Try, another B2B e-commerce system, and Volkswagen system. So together with my colleagues, where's Daniel? Daniel, yeah. He also one of my colleagues. He come today. We're together looking after a lot of e-commerce system in Dulacruz. Yeah. So that's my background. So yeah, in general, I'll talking about some AI support in some function and feature, and then I will have some demo about voices. So when we go into a website, e-commerce website like Target or Kmart or Officeworks, when we add item to cart or search for something, we can use our voice. Yeah, instead of type in, we just use voice. Talking about a bit on the images. Yeah, so when we upload a photos to the e-commerce search, we'll search for a similar one. So like on Google. Yeah, but this one applied in just in within e-commerce system. And about the product recommendation, and yeah, a lot more. Yeah, I think. Also, I would love to have one volunteer. Because I'm not from English speaking background, so I need a native English speaker to volunteer and help me with the command search when I demo it. Yeah. I'll bring to this step later. So talking about typical e-commerce system. All the process like this one. So when you go to a system like Target website, if you have ever experienced some kind of online shopping, you start with login, or you can start with anonymous user. Guest user. You don't have to log in, and then you search for product, add product to shopping cart, and then go into checkout process. Select apply promotion and select the delivery options like pickup or express delivery or regular deliveries, and go into payment as well, and then we place an order. So after that, from the back end, we can give tracking about shipping the item to our address. So this is the whole, just a typical whole end-to-end process. So when talking about the AI apply on an e-commerce system, where we can apply it. So, and any idea about how we can apply AI on the process?
We can apply it in the
Beautiful, super. Yeah. Anyone else? Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah.
The shipping and tracking estimate.
Which one?
The shipping and tracking estimate.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Promotion.
Oh, promotion. Absolutely, that's very nice. Can start up on this one. We're talking more about this one. Anything else? So I would say that every single step we can apply AI on it. Yeah, for sure. So first one, login. So login with mobile app, we can use face recognition, biometric with the fingerprint. So we can use AI over there. Search, of course, someone just mentioned about it. Yeah, search and add to cart as well. So about like when we add to cart, we got some all the calculation on the back end. So we can apply AI over there. Checkout process depends on the we can apply over there as well. Depends on where the customer is, where is the location, what kind of products going to be applied to the shopping cart. We can provide some personalization on the checkout process there. Promotion, that's one of the potential. It's very potential AI application over there. Like you can start up on the promotion engine there, just independent promotion engine on the startup in here. Payment, of course, payment we apply like AI in fraud detection. So some guys try to hack into our system by using fake credit card. So AI can be applied that one on the checkout. Delivery option. Also, we can apply on that one with location detection or estimate the delivery money like from here to there with the dimension of the good, like width and height and the wide. We can apply AI on calculate the delivery option here as well. So a lot of things. Placing orders also apply AI over there on detecting frauds, like some hacking into it, we can detect it. But it's more about AI in cybersecurity application than in the e-commerce system. Shipping tracking, yeah, you see like on Domino application, right? When we place an order for the pizza, usually people deliver to our home. So we can keep tracking on this one as well. Yeah, I would say like AI can be anywhere on an e-commerce system. Yeah. So that's the whole the end-to-end process. I mean, very typical one. But when you go into AI, talking about AI, the main thing for us is data, right? So when talking about data, where can we collect data from an e-commerce system? So yeah, there are a lot of ways. So when customer go into a website, that's we can start collecting customer information. Getting customer information from cookie, from browser history, from anything like on all the behavior of the customer, of user on browser, we can track it, collect it. Yeah, bear with me. Like if you don't want to be tracking, don't go shopping online. So as soon as you open the browser, go into a website like Target or Kmart, you have been tracked. Your personal information has been collected, sent to some some data system like Google Analytics or Target system or so. So if you don't want to be collect your personal data, don't do it. Yeah. So once we gather information from customer, from user, it will send to the data center from the company. From there, we can analyze it. So yeah, that's the way we can collect data beside the order data, product data, customer data. Yeah. So on every single e-commerce system, there are three main data, object data we need to set up. The first one is the product data, right? So we sell something on the e-commerce system, that should be products. Second one is the customers. Even that's one the guest user, but we need to have a table to store it. So even like we have to track like email or address or some information. And the last one should be order. Yeah, so we make order. So that's one need to be put into database. So three things. So based on those basic, tables, we can analyze it and see where the customer from, how often customer order these products, or we can collect customer data by many means. Yeah. So that's about data processing, and especially with I've ever worked for Anaconda and Spotlight. Especially with some retailing companies like Target and so, the records of the customer up to some millions, easy. Yeah, not just like B2B system. We have couple thousand customer. B2B customer like business to business Dulac we are making band, and we sell it to our partner like Bunnings or Bully or Cows. So the list of the customer of B2B system is quite small. But for the retailing like B2C business to consumer, the volume of customer is quite huge. Okay, everybody can buy it. We don't have to have in the partnership. So that's based on the volume of data, we can apply AI on it to process it. So let's move to another one. So when we have some data over there, we can apply AI in analyze the product to enhance the user engagement. So usually we can see on any typical e-commerce system, when we go into product, we can see the upselling, cross-selling, but based on the user behavior, we can recommend. We can apply AI to recommend the product customer can buy together. Also, yeah. So another application we are targeting to build in our company as well, for the product recommendation. So Yes is one of our sub companies on the website. This one here. Yeah. So for example, Yes is a company selling fertilizer in the sea, right? So we also put some more information about how to treat disease of the plant or trees. So one potential AI application for this system is when customer they upload photos of the trees, dying trees, dying plants, they upload to the system. So the system can apply AI to recognize what kind of tree, where's the location of the customer, like in Victoria or Queensland or New South Wales. Then we can, the AI system can recommend what kind of treatment can be applied on the tree, or what kind of fertilizer, and how we can, water the tree to rescue the tree. Yeah, so that's one kind of application we can do. Yeah. Also another sub company Dulac is one of the systems I'm looking after as well. We're selling bands, we're selling collar as well. So the target of the AI support application for this one, customer having mobile phone app, taking a photo of a room, upload to the app. So the app, the AI can recognize the room, and we may use some dimension of the room, like the width and the height, and the AI system can recommend what kind of band can be used for the room. How many can of how many can of band can be bought for? Can be used for that room, or what kind of color, what kind of material? Yeah, and also when some Chinese they want to know the decking on the backyard, right? upload the check-in photos, they will check-in photo to the app, and the app will recognize and the check-in area and recommend what kind of bands, outdoor bands, or Israel bands, or what kind of treatment to process the check-in. Yeah. So a lot of application on our system. Yeah. So any question about that one at this stage? Yep.
Just wait a second, I'll bring over a microphone so everyone can hear.
Basically the same room in different lightings.
Oh, actually,
How do you differentiate?
no, actually that one is just the proof of concept how to make it, but we still need to have to ask user to input some extra information like the width, the height, the width, the height, and what kind of material of your rooms, like it's made by what kind of material, like timber floor or bridge or so. So still need to have some more information. But things like we have to build model, AI model to machine learning model to train it. And when customer uploads some kind of and have some input information, the model can recommend what kind of product can be applied for it. Yeah, it's still not like automatic 100% automatic case, not too smart at the moment. Yeah. Yep.
Is there not a point where we we don't reach a point where we're just trying to shove generative AI into places where it doesn't need to be? Because maybe I'm biased, but as a user, if an app pops up with a chatbot that wants to recommend me a paint color, I want to delete the app. But there's too much in my opinion.
Yeah, you're right. So actually, when we are living in the region, in the city that's far, you can easily come to store. It's like come to try a restaurant and ask for more information, ask for advice easily. I think it can be applied to when you are really living in remote areas, for example, or you're not close to store or take time to travel to store, just use the app, ask it.
Yeah, that's a very small portion of the client base, no? I mean, especially in Australia, we're very, even if you're in a regional area, you're probably about it.
Yeah. You're right. But still, not technology. Yeah.
You're not forced to use the app. Like you could just go and choose the paint and buy it. Like you're not forcing people to you don't get to choose the paint for this to analyze.
Okay, so I'll move to another one as well. About the Gen AI applying, content management of an e-commerce system, right? So when we have when we would like to, an e-commerce system would like to design an image, design photo for new products. We are a company product, produce products, right? So when we introduce a new product, we need to have some idea about how to build a photo like this one. Right, so we use we haven't used yet, but the idea is when we put Dolly or any image generated, so we put some prompts, some commands to ask ChatGPT to generate photos for us. For example, that one. The other way back, when we have some photo design by designer by the graphic team, we ask for generate content for it. So it's very flexible to use generative AI on e-commerce system. Yeah. This is one of the very potential areas we apply. Such in here, not just for the end user, but for the back end as well. Because for the front end, when we go into e-commerce website, we search for products, so we can understand we can collect the user behavior, interact on the system, so we can understand what products customer try to search for, and then we recommend it. Also by AI, and also display more relevant result down here, and also we it depends on the where the customer, what kind of customer, is that a B2B or B2C customer, we can build kind of fastest like the filter list. Also a lot user experience improvement on the search option. So that's for the front end. From the back end, based on the behavior of the the user, we can support the system can support marketing or support for forecast the future growth of some particular product. So for example, like customer in I would say, like for example, when customer going to target, they're going to search for a t-shirt or so. So we can guess what kind of t-shirts customer usually search for when they are, and I mean, in general, what kind of products customer usually search for. So I can recommend, okay, so next year we boost a bit up on that product. For example, I mean, we upselling for more products. So that's for the back end. A lot of things happening, but we are not working on this one, but we use some third-party search engine like Elasticsearch and Algolia, which they are very strong at the moment with AI support. Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys used it with the Elasticsearch or Algolia. Yeah, Elasticsearch. Yeah, and the other ones are very good in AI support, like Algolia. One of the best search engine ever. Yeah, but it's very expensive. Okay, so next one is about chatbot. Yep. So everybody knows like the benefits of having a chatbot at the moment, right? So the chatbot with the AI support, like AI assistants, is different with the traditional chatbot, right? So with traditional chatbot, we would fine tuning like product here and the answer here, question here, answer here. So it's a bit different with the AI assistant. Like we need to have some human friendly message back to the user rather than just like a robot. Yeah. So with the AI, with the support of the ChatGPT, we build it and make it more user friendly. And yeah, everybody knows like the benefit of this one, like 24/7 customer support, instant response, and yeah, cut off a lot human agents. I'll talk more about the chatbot ChatGPT myself. We built last year with Microsoft. And another application of AI on e-commerce system is about the visualization. So you can build like so the idea is like for example, when you want to buy clothes, you take your photos. So somehow your photo going to be converted into a 3D, right? And you choose the a t-shirt or a jeans. So it apply on your photo, your body, so you can see like how you look like after you wear the t-shirt. So that's the idea, for example. Yeah, a lot of idea to make it. I think it's happening at the moment. Yeah. Voice commands. I will have them on this one. So yeah. Okay. So so practically, like when we end up 2022, right? So when ChatGPT is introduced in December, everybody's they're eager to try to understand what's the ChatGPT, what it is. I put a big proof of concept how to use ChatGPT in our ecosystems. So so this one like early 2023, just put like a sample application like build the use the Triangle as the core, and then I have web application, and we communicate with the ChatGPT. I'm using Azure OpenAI. Sorry for that. Sorry, AWS. Yeah. So this is just a proof concept and make it work on Python application, and then we work with Microsoft. If you have a look at the some news on LinkedIn or Microsoft website, that's where with us we build ChatGPT base with the Azure OpenAI here, and going with we use test embedded ADA model for fine tuning and use the ChatGPT own model. So this is a very typical one, but last year we improved this model and make it better. So this is a very early stage. So later on, because our companies, we have a lot of sub companies, a lot of the data source from here. So instead of training the model by using the file, just single file, we automate by using the data from ERP system, from eCommerce system, from CRM, from another master data management system as well. So we put into storage here. So also use Databricks to index to process data and index into OpenAI with ChatGPT Toggle 2.5 Toggle with the fine tuning embed ADA too. So this one we put chat history or product description. So somehow we limit the question just within the company products only. We can't answer the question for our competitors. Like someone asked for band, we can't answer the band from Heyman. Just within direct group products. So we train it. So we use different database like Colossus for the vector, and Azure as well for the structured data. And also use the ML flow for the ML ops. If you guys understand just to know about the ML ops, we got DevOps, we got IT ops. Now we got another job like ML ops, just manage the deployments of AI applications. Machine learning AI application, and then we go into the RAS in here. So the RAS is just like a system, an AI system to retrain when we get an answer, and then it's gotten to retrain to the system. So it's getting better, understand more. So it's going up. So then we got machine learning endpoint here to spot on the outcome here with chatbot application there with the client service. Of course, going to Azure Active Directory for authentication. So this is a very typical one, and you guys don't worry about this one much because you can Google and search for it, and quite easy to find similar model like this one. It's not a mystery anymore. Anybody can get it. So today I'm about to demonstrate about. Just give me some more minutes. I'm going to demo about voices. This is just my idea. So we have Elasticsearch engine here. We ingest data up here, so it can be replaced by any different search engine here, like Solar Index Server or algorithm or whatever search engine to ingest data here. So and I use the the OpenAI Whisper, which is about speech to text. So this is open source one as well from OpenAI. So you can download, install yourself, or just use the service very cheap price. So this one, it will recognize our speech and convert into text. So when you go into the text, there are two kind of testing here. Like when we search for a simple words like band or giraffe or water, that's quite simple. But when we talk about like, can you help me to find a vent for my home? So that's a long sentence. So a long sentence, when we put into search engine, it couldn't find any, couldn't find any products because it's a long sentence, right? So we use ChatGPT to convert that long sentence into just the keywords. Then we use the keyword and put into the search engine here. So that's how it's worked. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to demo now. So maybe Alice, Alan to help me as well.
Came up to me earlier and said, I'm going to ask you for your help. I have no idea what you want me to do.
Yeah. So this is very basic application have built by using Angular at the front end, and the back end is instead of Django, I'm just bypass it to keep it simple, right? And if you retrieve the data from a non-production environment from Dulux, so for example, if I search by just by like professional, I just try to right, and then click on search. So it will return the list of the products with the professional here, right? So that's quite like very typical search. Similar to like when going to the website here, click on search and search thing here, right? So it's return the result down to the button here. So enable the voice search. So there are two. I'll just put like to demo like two kind of like voice search here: simple search and advanced search. Simple search with a single word, and advanced search when you say in a long sentence. So see how it's worked here. And we want to call this one. Yeah. So start with a single word first. When I click on this one, it's enable. This one, and you don't have to. Yeah. Just say something.
Paint stripper.
Yeah, so the voice been recorded. Now I'm uploading to the search engine, right? Paint stripper. See? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So another word, another word. Single word, yeah, another single word.
Primer.
I'm going to upload. Beautiful. Now we can say a long sentence, say like ChatGPT convert to a keyword, yeah? So kind of like 1, 2, 3, and then you say.
I'm looking for something that can remove paint with lead in it and replace it with a new undercoat that I can put on a roof.
That's really long.
Very
Say, yeah, so let's see how it works. Yeah, I haven't tried. That's a long sentence. So upload it.
Time out. Singular. Let's go. Yeah. The motto of life demo.
The dramatic effect, I promise that was not scripted.
I'm very sorry, I really love it.
It was very funny.
It's all time days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see the sentence we convert to that keyword. Yeah, and I'm going to do I'm going to see how it translates to. I'm happy to share the idea, the solution, I mean, even the cover of this one, if you guys want to, that's fine, straightforward to it. Yeah, that's all for my demo. Sorry, it's all the time a bit.
Thank you very much for the presentation from Harry. I think we got have a couple minutes for a quick Q&A session. So do anyone have any questions?
So I was wondering, because you said that you could do security with AI, and I was just wondering, because like AIs are always stochastic, so how do you make it like really secure, even if there's like an accuracy of like 99% of detecting like hacking, it's 1% hacking would still go through, right?
Wow, that's to be honest, that's not my area. But security, when I apply AI to test flows on e-commerce system, I haven't tried yet, but it's very hard subject for me. Sorry for that.
How do you validate the pass query? Like after AI have passed into a text, do you have any recommendation to validate this data?
You mean the data we train for the model, right?
No, after the sentence, the long sentence, the final words like yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So
the length of this text that what we are searching, the long line, then the 25 words that we were searching.
No.
To get it up back.
No, I'll just for this application, I'll just put very simple training to. I'll show you the training sentence. I'll put for ChatGPT. So. This one. See, this is the command. I put to the ChatGPT like your AI assistant specialized in finding things like this one. So yeah, so this one like this is the way I train it. It just depends on the way you train it. You ask it to do for us. Yeah. So by time we can learn more and put another training system to it.
I'm wondering, like, for the generated, like, after it gives you the results, how do you validate this is the, like, meaningful? Yeah.
No, I haven't tried it. So, like, I haven't tried it. Yeah, I've just whatever is returned to after we send request to ChatGPT, just whatever is respond to us. Yeah, and use the keyword over there.
Is the assigned model exactly response like?
I just like use ChatGPT core API, put the training message to it, and ask it to return us JSON format like this one with the test keyword, so we can look at the keyword and put to search engine. Yeah. But apparently, like instead of like ChatGPT, we can use different things. Yeah. But I reckon like it's very strong. ChatGPT is very strong.
You could probably pass in like all your product names and then say pick keywords out of the product names that we have. Like that would get an accurate result for what you have, as opposed to just trying to guess the keywords that's going to come up.
Yeah, so the keyword is just, we use the ChatGPT to split the human sentence into keywords, and the keyword will be used to input to search engine.
Yes.
So we use the keywords again, sometimes the index database.
But you could sort of filter down on your actual products that you have as well. If you feed in a list of all your products.
Of course. So we limit that one and just develop product.
Sorry guys, in concern of time, we have to stop this presentation. But Henry will still be here. You can still grab him for questions and stuff. So now we have take a very quick 5 minutes break. We'll break and 7 sharp for the second presentation. Thank you for your time. So
Thank you.
Hi everyone, we're starting now. And sorry about the abrupt stop about the presentation of Henry. But if you still have any question for Henry, you can feel free to connect him on LinkedIn. He's more welcome to answer more questions from you guys.
No, all good. Thanks for starting here.
So we will just now pass the mic to the second presenter. He is Louis, the founder of 2050. He will talk to us about carbon accounting. Thank you, Louis.
I honestly didn't expect to be on a mic tonight. First of all, thanks for coming out. I thought it was going to be 37 degrees today, and I was like, no one's going to turn up. And then it started raining, so I was like, wow, double whammy. All right. So we're going to be talking a little bit about carbon accounting, some open source protocols, stuff like that. I'm going to give you a bit of a crash course on carbon accounting because it's kind of necessary to understand what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to introduce the various components of PACT, the ecosystem, the methodology and the network. I'm going to show and tell 3 projects that I've been working on, and then there's hopefully going to be a bit of time for Q&A. My name's Lewis, been in the industry since 2017. I keep telling people I've been in for almost a decade, and then I forget that I can't add. So I started off as a bootcamp grad. I've spent a fair bit of time over the last year training LLMs for various providers, which explains the hallucinations that you're seeing. I like Python, but I've been working with a bit of Nuxt as well. I started learning about climate change during COVID, and then sort of dug in from there. I started work. I'm a metalhead, serious foodie, semi-competent pool player, and a terrible card player. All right, I'm going to be giving you some opinions in this talk, and they're all coming from like my experience with working with carbon accounting technology and stuff. This is one of them, and, but they won't be this jokey for the rest of them. The reason I put this up is because ultimately the name of the talk is the future of carbon accounting, which is a pretty lofty title. I accept that there's some blue sky thinking in there, and so yeah, some of it is it's just a result of the stuff I've been working on. So I started learning about climate change during COVID. Started bugging people in 2023. I started off with sustainability professionals. I just started asking them like, where's the problems with product carbon footprinting, because I was learning about life cycle assessment. If I say anything in this talk, I am going to try and address it. So if I'm using any terminology, I am going to be attempting to sort of explain it as I go. I started off writing a Pydantic library. This was a mistake. And so that, because it was the first time I tried to break apart a technical spec. So I tried it, and then I had to restart. So I built a small proof of concept to get PACT conformance working, and then migrated an MVP, released a fully functioning and fully functional unit, and then got conformance. So conformance is a testing process that basically assures that your software can do what it's supposed to do across the network. I've been working on the PACT library for a while now, and I recently released a small web application called the PACT, I'm calling the PACT Playground, so that people who can actually like have a look at it, they can see it, they can use it, and they can interact with it, because carbon accounting is an abstract concept on top of software, which is already an abstract concept, so it's quite difficult for people to get into. Before I continue, has anyone got any experience with life cycle assessment or carbon accounting or anything like that? Anyone read about it? Fantastic, one person, great, excellent. So, carbon accounting is just a way for organisations to measure the amount of carbon emissions in a product, a service, a project, and their organisation. It's currently broken down into 3 scopes. So you've got Scope 1 direct, Scope 2 indirect, and Scope 3 value chain. Scope 1 direct you can think of as the fuel, like petrol, that organisations purchase, they put it in their cars. If they're they're maintaining a delivery fleet or something, and then they burn it. That's a Scope 1 emission. A Scope 2 would be the energy someone purchases from another organisation. This is a topic of discussion at the moment with some of the green power government stuff. And Scope 3 is the value chain. So everybody's, if you use a software provider, for example, they're part of your Scope 3 value chain. There are currently 16, 15 categories of Scope 3 sort of organisation, and so, or Scope 3 product, sorry. And so you've got things like purchase goods and services, which is category 1, but there's 15 categories. You will find, depending on the type of industry that you're working in, your Scope 3 emissions will be heavily tilted towards like 2 or 3 of them. And so it really depends on like what kind of business you're in. For a software organization, a lot of it would be purchase goods and services. This is a bit of a like visual, I didn't make this, of the way you can sort of think about the scopes. And so you can see like the company facilities and the company vehicles. And then there's sort of scope 2, so you purchase electricity, and then you indirect stuff. So the main thing about scope 3 is that it's all the things that you basically have zero control over. You purchase it, and you no longer have any control over that supply chain. For the purposes of this talk, we're going to be talking pretty much entirely about scope 3. Right. So the 3 scopes are generally addressed with a range of protocols they're referred to typically. The most commonly known one is the greenhouse gas protocol. It's been around for a while. They're the co-convener of the protocol, but there's, the WRI is the co-convener of the greenhouse gas protocol. It's been going since about the 90s. So, a greatly simplified abstraction is there's more standards than I'm showing on the screen, but you've got the greenhouse gas corporate standard, which is typically scope 1 and 2, and then scope 3 is a value chain standard and a product protocol standard. So the product protocol standard generally will start talking about like product carbon footprints, which is what I'm interested in. You can think of the value chain standard as how do I get the emissions for my entire supply chain, and then the product standard as I built a laptop and I want to know sort of how many emissions are in it and how to quantify that. Again, some of the stuff I say is going to be a trivialization, and that is just because this space is enormously complex and there's still a lot of things that aren't super well defined. So, yeah. Right, PCFs and LCA. So, lifecycle assessment's been around since the 90s, but it's a continuation of something that's been around since about the 60s. Product carbon footprints are a specialized version of lifecycle assessment where the focus is entirely on CO2 and carbon emissions and all that sort of stuff. Or not all that sort of stuff, that one thing. So there's fundamental scalability issues around PCFs. Creating an LCA or a PCF requires you go and talk to environmental consultants or some other type of consultant like that, and they can take months to create, and they can run up to like 50 grand a piece depending on the complexity of the product. And the accuracy of that data is not always going to be great because you have to use secondary data sources, because you can't model every single thing inside the supply chain and inside the product carbon footprint. So the LCA process is basically four stages: goal and scope definition, life cycle inventory analysis, life cycle impact assessment, and life cycle interpretation. I'm not going to be digging into these heaps because we have a bit to get through, but they're basically defined by ISO 14040 and ISO 14044. I don't know if anyone's bought ISO standards before, and they are quite expensive to actually purchase and read through, so you kind of have to just cobble information together like as you go. Right, so I talked about LCA. Most PCF processes are modeled from the ISO standard, but because of the nature of products and the fact that they're so different and they occur in different nationalities and different places and all that sort of stuff, ultimately, in order to create a product carbon footprint, you have to specialize the product, and so you end up with different rules you've got to apply and all that sort of stuff, and it really depends on where you're making it. So there's 3 common ones: the Greenhouse Gas Protocol Lifecycle Standard, ISO 14064, and PACT 2050. PACT 2050 was made in the UK. The other 2 are sort of they're from a more global approach. I read a study, and again, anything I put in this, if I reference a study or anything, I'm going to provide my details afterwards. I have like a bit of an information pack if anyone wants any of that. So they looked at 900 PCFs, and researchers identified 21 different standards, but the most common 3 accounted for 90% of those. The other ones, there was about 20% in there that basically they couldn't define which one it used, and then the other 10% was kind of like just stuff that was based off the other 3 kind of thing. So, given that I just mentioned there were 21 standards, the current challenges with product carbon footprints is that there's a lot of standards to actually create these things with. There's great difficulty in exchanging product carbon footprints between organizations. Mainly because with a good quality PCF, if you give that to a decent team, they can pretty much reverse engineer an organization's entire manufacturing process just from understanding the carbon emissions in a product and sort of some of those other things. And so there's been a lot of resistance towards sort of handing out PCFs. And so that's some of the work that I've been working on, addresses some of that. yeah, the size of supply chains globally represents an enormous part of the problem as well. You have things like, sorry, I'm a bit nervous and I've forgotten a word. Basically, organisations will start to shift their manufacturing base around the world when carbon and sustainability measures and legislation come in. And so basically, like, you might be recording it one day and then they shift production or manufacturing over to another place. All of a sudden, you don't have to track those emissions, and so yeah, you get some serious problems. One of my favourite quotes that I saw from someone was giving some information over in the form of PCS would be akin to putting cameras in our factories, because they were that sure that the information they were providing could be used to completely reverse engineer products. So this is the core, PACT. So there's 4 terms I'm going to be using. So PACT, so that's an organisation that basically congeals a bunch of organisations, 50 large companies, funnily enough. SAP is one of them. The PACT methodology, which is basically a carbon accounting methodology that tries to streamline all the other methodologies into one thing and then define a data exchange standard. The PACT network, which is just an open network of various solution providers. They can be carbon accounting solutions that have tacked the APIs on, a variety of other things. But basically, anyone that exchanges information over the PACT network is part of the PACT network. And then PACT conformance. So I mentioned this earlier. So this is just like a formal review process to get various solution providers to get their implementations to talk to one another. And then as a result, you get PACT conformance, and that sort of indicates to the market that your software can do exactly what it's supposed to do. So the Internet of Emissions data. I've written a fairly lengthy blog post. I've written quite a lot of blog posts on my website. They are all massive. I cannot stop writing them when I start, and then they all turn out to be like 4,000 words long. I got one the other day and it was 8,000 words, and I realised I had an entire series there, so yeah, that's to come. The Internet of Emissions data is a good way to think about the entire PACT thing, right? So at the moment, we don't really do that much with carbon emissions data, mainly because of the difficulty of creating it. But with the Internet of Emissions data, as sort of as a concept, there's going to be all these use cases that we currently don't know about, and you're going to be able to start moving PCF data around. There's going to be, alerting. There's going to be things like assurances, and a variety of these things you're going to see as in code in a minute. But I have very strong opinions on this concept. I think that the data volumes exchanged are going to be absolutely gigantic. I'm willing to back that opinion up as well. So, right. So 0-2050. So we're just an open source organization that builds solutions to just the methodology, the network, and a bunch of other stuff to get this stuff into people's hands. At the moment, there's a lot of big corporates. It's all closed source. I just want to sort of support open source implementations of it so we can drive the network volumes, because otherwise I just think it makes it very difficult for things like this to scale without open source implementations. So, the PACT methodology library, this is the thing I've been working on most, and this is kind of the reason you guys are all here. It's well tested, extensive use of fixtures, 600 tests in PyTest, although, number of tests doesn't really matter all that much. I could probably double that by just copying them. Represents version 2.2 of the PACT specification. I have plans to go to version 2.3 soon. There's issues and all sorts of stuff up there. It's got fairly complete reference documentation, so I try to write documentation as I go. And at the moment, it's focused entirely on representing like the core building blocks of the PACT methodology, so your core entities. It doesn't really do a whole lot of stuff in terms of interactions. That's mainly because I didn't want to spend heaps of time building stuff that I hadn't really spec'd, I didn't really have user data for, so I want to sort of get into people's hands and then sort of see where it goes from there and how people are using it. So, yeah, as I mentioned, future plans to add interactions. And a lot of the interactions also hinge on the next version of the PACT methodology because there's some major changes. They're basically trying to take this PCF network and they're trying to integrate it with different ones. So there's a few of them. There's Container X for automotive data. A car typically is comprised of about 3,000 components, and a car manufacturer has control of 1% of their supply chain. So there's quite a few sort of components that they're having to source from other people. Right, I'm going to attempt to show some code. Probably get a chair. Kind of hard, I've never worked on a screen this big. Right, so it's all hosted on GitHub. I have tried to logically break it up, all that sort of stuff, and make it clean. I'll show you some code, just so we can have a browse in some Python. So this is the core. Now, I have struggled with the fact that some of these classes are gigantic. And that is mainly because I'm trying to represent a methodology that I didn't write myself. It's an open source spec, and so I've implemented it. I would like at some point to be able to break it up a little bit more so these classes aren't absolutely gigantic. But at the moment, it's proving to be a bit of a nightmare. So, yeah. So, I'm going to show you some other stuff as well from the technical spec, so you can get an understanding of like the JSON responses and all that sort of stuff. But this is basically just there to be a domain layer. It's not super complicated. It's just a bunch of properties and stuff. I've got some tests in there for certain things. For example, there are validation rules because of the nature of just how the methodology works. Some things need specific data types, all that sort of stuff. I'm probably not telling you much there. But yeah, I've got, so there's a bunch of different things, but I was mentioning before about things like assurance. Does that say assurance? Cool. Yeah. So when I was mentioning, so the assurance is basically like when you create a product carbon footprint, there's got to be a process. So financial results and accounting, they go through an assurance process as well. And so in order so that when you make statements about those financial results, there's a formal proof there, or not formal proof is a very strong word for that. There's a way to validate them. And so a lot of this assurance stuff is going to come up later on. Again, it's not in a lot of use at the moment, but it is a core part of the framework. And this is one of those things that is changing significantly with future versions. And so the intention was basically to just get it working and then go from there. So I've attempted to write doc tests and stuff like that. So there's some cool examples. I will show you some documentation. So reference. I'll show you the same one. I'll show you assurance. So yeah, some of the stuff obviously is just boilerplate. I haven't had all that time. I'm working on it open source, but I try and provide some examples just because some of them are so massive and so unwieldy that if you didn't have examples, it would take you forever just trying to fill the classes out. All right. I'm going to go back to please not do that. I don't know how to use a computer, sorry. All right, we're just going to stay on this page because I'm going to be switching to some other tabs soon. Right. Let's try not to show my presenter notes as well. All right, so yeah, so this is the second thing I built, and so this was actually the first thing I built. Basically, it's a fast API app, uses Pydantic on the API responses, SQL Alchemy, and then Postgres on the back end. It's hosted using Railway. Have any of you guys used Railway? Railway.app? Is it not the craziest thing in the world? It's so awesome. I would recommend everyone go and try their free tier. I'm not an affiliate, I swear. It is awesome. I used to be a DevOps engineer, and I'm surprised at how fast I've been able to dev stuff. So this basically allows you to get PACT conformance out of the box. So if you're an organization, you come along and you're like, hey, I want to get on PACT, you could basically spin my stuff up, start loading PCFs into it, start exchanging them with different supply chain participants, and away you go. It's the only maintained open source solution for PACT conformance. And I'm pretty proud of that. It was a pretty big ordeal trying to get all this stuff done. And I mentioned the sort of process that I went through. So some of the challenges. Progress on the app has stalled a bit just due to work on the library. I'm trying to build a domain layer with the library so that I can put that into the app so that I'm not just putting API connections directly through to the database, because I don't like the idea of that. And so I'm trying to build the library so that I can put it into the app and then provide a few different extra services, provide a few different features and all that sort of stuff. It is definitely the long way around to go, no doubt about it. But it was kind of the way I wanted to do it. It was open source, so I got to make that decision myself. Ultimately, I think that there is a future where an organisation can plug and play, but ultimately, I think one of the things that people have mentioned is that they want to be able to plug their own database in. So being able to do some sort of thing where you can swap out the persistence layer, again, that will be helped by the domain model, but it's not something that I've been able to do because I'm like a one-man band at the moment. And organisations want to actually be able to create the PCFs inside the software. Currently, the way you would do it is you would already have a PCF, you would load it into the software. Being able to create it is a pretty extensive process, and so it's just one of those things. On that note, I will show you what I mean by... oh no, it went off the page it was supposed to be on. Right. This is how you create a PCF, basically. So you've got a... yeah, that's really sensitive. So as you can see, like you've got to, identify all the processes and then start collecting primary data. Primary data, there's a difference between primary data and secondary data, and the difference is that secondary data is a data source that has been taken from somewhere else. It's probably in a database like something like Sphera, and basically there's these massive databases that you can subscribe to, you can purchase the emissions factors from, but it doesn't constitute the actual process that was used in your manufacturing process. So in this case, identifying all the attributable processes could be, my company produces a can of Coke, Pepsi I guess, and they don't necessarily produce all of the inputs. And so they might have to go to the label printer and ask them, like, well, what kind of ink you use? And then that person would have to go down the line and ask them, like, hey, can you provide me a PCF for your pigments? And so as you can see, like that's primary data. It's recorded by the organisation you get it from. And so from there, you get more reliable data. But obviously that process is pretty extensive. And if you've got heaps of components in something, then it can lead to a pretty big ordeal. So, and then you sort of take that, you do a variety of things with it, and then eventually you can share it. But that takes on the order of months. So this is what I was going to show you. So, right, this is the technical spec, right? This is, so it defines a number of routes. The technical spec is from PACT, and it defines a number of routes. So you've got sort of an auth, a list footprints, and then also a get footprints. And there's also one called events, which is used because they were finding that organizations were basically attempting to request a PCF. It didn't exist because it hadn't been created. And so it was just 404ing. And so what they did is they added the events async process so that you can now request a PCF. They go off, they make it, they put it back in a database, and then they send you a notification when it's ready, right? But yeah, as you can see, when you actually request a PCF, it is fairly massive. There's a lot of stuff in there. And there's a ton of things like company IDs, which are URNs, and then they have their own rule sets and stuff, but then you have to plug in and understand what company ID you're applying, what product ID you're applying, a bunch of different stuff. Things like product category, CPC, that's a UN thing. It's being phased out of the PACT network because no one was using it. That is basically a CSV file with like 15,000 lines, and you just go in and you pick your product. It has literally everything in there. It is massive and it is so comprehensive. I kept scrolling through going, I bet I can't find that. You can definitely find it in there. Right. So that gives, that's a way of explaining it. I just realized I am so over time. I apologise. Right, I'm going to try and shoot through some of this. So here's some documentation for the actual PACT Fast API app that I've built. Here's the actual code for it. It's all Fast API, all the data models in there, all the persistence, all that sort of stuff. If you have any sort of interest in it, please submit a PR. I would love that. Let's see what else I've got to talk about. All right, PACT Playground. Right. Everything I've said so far has been a bit difficult. It's actually quite hard to try and show off API data. It's probably a bit boring to do a demo of. So I have attempted to build a little app. This isn't open source, mainly because I don't want you all to look at my JavaScript, which is horrific. But basically, you can go in here. I have a plan to sort of build all of the different components that are in the methodology, that are in the library, to be able to show and demo off. So I'm going to pray to the demo gods here, and I'm going to pray that this thing still works. But you can basically go, and you can say, hey, is that a valid URL? And it will say, no, thank you for working. And then you can say, oh, how about now? And put in actual one, and it will say, yeah, that's valid. I wanted this to be able to demo off some of the library capabilities, and so I've added in some stuff where you can just copy paste that into your app and it will work. It'll provide library documentation or reference to the URN, the original sort of stuff, and then I've got another one for biogenic accounting methodologies. I know you all want to read about those, and so yeah, the different methodologies that can be used. This one's a bit janky, I will admit. But then, yeah, I also try to provide some example code, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, links to the GitHub repos are all in there. I intend to do this for all of the different things so people can get a better understanding of how to actually use it. So that's done. Some final thoughts. All right, so we are actually at the end. I'm not going that far over time, I apologise. Realistically, I have a bunch of opinions on this stuff that basically I think that carbon pricing is super integral for this stuff to actually be taken seriously. At the moment, there is a really great video from a YouTuber, I think it might be Real Engineering, question mark. And he compiled a bunch of research that was done by, I think it was MIT, and they showed the modelling that said a value of $50 per tonne on CO2, and then you scale it 5% a year. The EU's already gone to $150 a tonne. The reason this is important because until people start getting charged for their carbon emissions, they really don't have much incentive to actually change other than public perception and stuff like that. Australia has started the process of attempting to do this. I can't remember the name of the legislation right now. And I would recommend, if you have any interest in Australia's very unique opportunity in decarbonisation, read anything you can by Ross Garno. He's absolutely excellent. If you want to chat, there's my email. I have a resource pack containing all of this stuff and some additional bits and pieces. I've also been known to exchange information for beverages from time to time. All right, are there any questions?
Yeah, I'll just prefix this by saying that I've had 13 years of experience in environmental monitoring. So that's going from building environmental monitoring equipment, going out in the field servicing in Hunter Valley, going to mines, explosive monitoring and that. I love that you've got some environmental content in here because it's a big passion of mine. I've been also scraping the NMEA's website for the past 5 years every minute. Sorry, NMEA. On their data. I guess it's more of a statement than a question, but from my previous experience, the biggest problem with getting people to give you data coming from a corporate environment is you typically only had 3 reasons that data would be given willingly for this, which is a terrible, terrible thing. You would either have for cost, for example, if you wanted to try and minimise wear on rubber tyres and a mining equipment, you would have compliance for regulatory reasons. We would have complaints from the general public, and unfortunately they're the only 3 things that drive customer data. So I really wish the best of luck in this.
Thank you.
Future.
No, I appreciate that. The one thing I will say is, again, it's obviously quite a dense topic, and so you can only fit so much in, and I still didn't fit it all in. The one thing that is starting to be shown very acutely is organisations that actually go out of their way to do PCF data. They actually see reductions in their manufacturing base. They see massive price improvements and all sort of stuff, just because there are so many processes that are fueled by fossil fuels that are inherently inefficient. Electrification provides default efficiency benefits just out of the box as soon as you implement it, and then sort of as carbon pricing and things come in, you're going to see a switch, and there's going to be a shift. But again, some of that relies on a variety of things working in the correct way.
Thank you for your talk. And just a comment, I don't feel you should feel you need to apologise when circumstances outside your control made you have to compress your time, so you shouldn't have to apologise for that. Just a quick question on the carbon accounting side of things. It wasn't clear to me, and presumably this is all going into like a balanced scorecard and other forms of accounting. Were the costs, the carbon costs and so forth that you outlined at the beginning and at the end, is this referring to the cost of manufacture and distribution or, at the production time, or is it the costs of the life cycle of the operations of the product that's produced, or both?
Good question. A bit of both. So there's a difference between, there's two major ones, but it can kind of get a little bit different. So you've got like cradle to gate and cradle to grave. Cradle to grave will indicate like, again, the can of Coke. The cradle to gate is basically Pepsi produces the can of Pepsi, not the can of Coke. And as soon as it hits their gate to go out to customers, they don't care anymore, right? They don't quantify the emissions at all. The cradle to grave is when you actually start looking at the emissions generated in the use. And an excellent example of this is I did a course not long ago, and they did an LCA for a machine washable carpet rug. And it turned out that once they included the cradle to grave, you could only wash it 8 times before it was now a problem. And so it was supposed to be a sustainable product, but yeah, you can't actually machine wash it all that many times because the amount of energy that you use in the washing cycle, the detergents and all that sort of stuff. That's also one of the differences between the LCAs, and it's something that people do have a problem with PCS because they focus entirely on carbon emissions. People say that you're sort of skipping over 14 other impacts. Whilst I agree with that opinion, CO2 is the one that's causing the most damage at the moment, and I believe that if you just get organisations that care about CO2, you can kind of, you sell them a puppy and then you go in and you solve the other 14 impact categories. But if you just went to an organisation right now and said, hey, we're going to do all 15, they would tell you where to go, So, any other questions?
Thank you so much for the talk. I just wanted to ask, like, in the context of software development, I've seen reports of Rust having lower emissions as compared to Python and other stuff. What are your thoughts on incorporating sort of reduction of carbon emissions when it comes to developing applications?
Good question. There's a ton of stuff on this. I cannot think of. Check out the Green Tech Foundation? ? It's a big organisation, foundation kind of thing. It's got a bunch of big players in it. I think Microsoft and stuff, and they help organisations like lower the carbon footprint of their code. But you're right. I mean, ultimately, some language ecosystems, due to the way that our language works, an interpreted model like that, it's going to be more inefficient. I don't know. I understand it. It's not an area that I focus on, so I can't talk to it a lot. But ultimately, it does produce more emissions if you run a different language, from my understanding of what I've read.
So will your standard incorporate reductions in running software applications as well, or just for manufacturing and production?
Yeah. So at the moment, the standard basically just is completely industry agnostic. I think I've seen ADRs in the backlog to talk about services, so not just products. but obviously that's an entirely different thing. It requires a shift. This is why I was talking about the shift between 2.3 and version 3. There's just so much stuff that people are adding, and organizations are coming to them and saying, hey, like we need to maybe bolster this or change this a little bit. Yeah, it's one of those things. There are initiatives out there that are really trying to work on this. If you shoot me an email, I will try and track down some of those resources for you, so you can go and have a look.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Sorry, I think we have to take the question offline. We are kind of going to overrun, so that I think we will be happy to add more. And before we wrap up the night, we will want to have a very quick marketplace session. So if you have any project working on, or your company is hiring for people, please feel free to share. Anyone? Yeah.
Hi everyone, I work at Style Education. We're a science education company. We're hiring software engineers for a variety of roles from front-end to back-end platform. If you're interested in the education space and teaching kids science, that's what we do. Come and chat to me or visit our website.
Hi everyone, my name is Morgan. I work for Habitat Energy. We operate grid-scale batteries. We optimize them, bid them into the market. We also work with renewable assets such as solar farms, etc. We're looking for Python developers, so I'll post the job link in the Slack channel, or if you're interested, come and chat to me.
Yeah, I'm Michael again from Judo Bank. So we're looking to possibly get some DevOps engineers. So please keep an eye on our job advertisements and socials, and you might see something coming up soon.
Hey guys, again. Our company also getting more and more resources. I think it's all for all type of years. At the moment we're getting cyber security or BI. So keep an eye on the LinkedIn. And once again, it's like Dulak Group is one of the best working environment I have ever worked with. Thank you. One of the tips here as well, guys, about the data science. I think Databricks is getting more, popular. I mean, it's popular now. So if you guys interested, love Python, you should, get certified on Databricks. You easily get a job as well. Yeah, good luck.
Is anyone? So thank you very much for coming tonight. So we still have around 10 minutes before the door is closing. So enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you.